Hey guys, Todd from COSN coming at you again today. Hey, today I want to do another update on the BOV Blazer build. I've done several different things at this point, and I wanted to show you those couple different things that I've done. To give you an overall of where I'm at with the Blazer, so I've got the radio rack almost complete. I do have the center console, the dash, all that stuff's complete. So at this point in time, I'm actually ready to start really wiring the entire vehicle. And once I get the wiring to about a 50-60%, then I'm gonna go ahead and move and put the engine, transmission. So kind of right on the verge right now of getting everything together, getting stuff in. Of course, I still have to do front bumper, rear bumpers, the top rack and stuff like that. But as far as actually getting the engine in, we're getting pretty close. Hopefully I can get that done in December, so we'll see. So hey, let's check out what I got done. So I've taken the doors off. I wanted to install some electric door locks, and also I've put a light in the door, and I've also put a speaker in the door. I didn't have any room up front to put any speakers, and I really wanted to have some speakers up front. I know it's luxurious items to add to, you know, a BOV build or whatever, but I did want to add some speakers up front. So I did put them in the doors. They're underneath my water level, which, you know, whatever. If they get underwater, they get underwater. Just replace them and move on. On these old rigs, though, I wanted to kind of go over how I put the wiring in. So as you can see here, I took the door off for easier access, and I drilled a hole in the door and also into the body, and those are 3/4 inch holes. And then inside the cab I drilled a 1.5 inch hole to give me room not only to run my wiring in, but also to add the door plunger to get to it more accessibly. They're really hard to get to if you don't have any access, so I ended up drawing a 1.5 inch hole here. Now that also is really nice because on this piece here, which is kind of your venting on the old rigs, it covers all those holes. And in the door jamb itself, like some of the older rigs, you didn't have any room, but on this rig, as you can see here, there's just a ton of room for your wiring to come through. And make sure you put your shielding on that so it doesn't eat your wires up. Alright, so I added a power bus and a negative bus station. I've got a lot of lights, a lot of electronics that's going in here. I am adding a 21 circuit painless wiring harness to this that's waterproof 4-wheel drive. I'll be doing a video of that also, but I added this up underneath the dash so that I have power and ground, so I'm not running a bunch of wires all the way to the battery. Plus I'm upgrading to a 150 amp alternator as well because of all the lights and electronics that I'll have in this vehicle. Alright guys, so I got the radio rack built. I'm going to show you kind of an overview of everything I've done and actually how it works. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. Alright guys, so this is a radio rack I built inside of the Blazer. I wanted something that could be contained and also lockable. So this is actually diamond plates, 1/8 inch diamond plate, and I've got 1/8 inch aluminum cover or lid. and this is actually lockable, so I can lock this up, leave it on a trailhead, whatnot, not worry too much about the radios inside because they're actually quite a bit of money. Now in the radio rack, I've actually put a CB, a ham radio, and a FRS GRMRS radio. So I wanted those 3 different configurations of radios to monitor and for communications. Now on the box, I've actually added, this is basically power. You can turn your power on and off so that I can regulate power to make sure I have no power drop on my batteries. It also controls a fan inside the box to cool, because the ham radio is 75 watts. When you start transmitting it gets pretty hot, so I want to make sure I can cool that off, which has a side switch here. I could turn that on and the fan turns on inside of the box. Also, to power up the system, this basically powers up the system. I'm going to dim this down. This is a little bright at night, could be kind of annoying, so I'm going to dim that down. But that actually powers the system, and as you can see here, I've got an actual switcher and an external mic, or I'm sorry, external speaker, so I can switch between radios on an external speaker that'll be in between the seats. So I've got channel 1. I can turn on channel 1, which is the CB. Or I can turn the ham on, and I can switch very easily through the channel switcher, and I can also go to the GRMS or the FRS radio if need be. So that's kind of nice. I got a variation. I can go through and I can change my external speaker without messing around having a bunch of other speakers. This will actually switch, and if you guys want to know what that is, ask me down there and I can send you a link to that actual switcher that'll switch different ones. It also has earphone jacks to where I can actually have a guy monitoring the radios through the earphone jacks. So that actually works out pretty nice. And I've got all my handhelds. These are all inside, or the talkies. These are all basically set inside this box also. So it's all one unit, nicely contained inside. Also, as you can see here, this is the fuse block. I put a fuse block in. I've also put a circuit breaker to, again, the power supply here, so I can turn it off and on, what cuts all power to make sure that I'm not getting a power drop on my batteries. So this is the radio rack I created. This is something that you know, I built from scratch. I wanted to make sure that it had everything that I wanted on it. Of course, if you look at radio racks, they're pretty expensive. Alright guys, so that's my radio rack for the BOV and the Blazer. I might upgrade to a better ham radio later on. This is a Yatsu, which is a really good radio, but I want to get into some different bands. So I might either upgrade that or add another radio to the radio rack. I actually have room in here to do so, so I might end up doing that. But other than that, that's the upgrades that I have now to show you guys, or the progress. We're actually getting ready just to really start wiring this entire thing out. And once they start getting all the wiring done, then the engine's going to get dropped, transmission, and so forth, so on. So actually, we're moving around, moving quite fast now. The top rack will probably take a little bit to build, of course, front bumpers, rear bumpers, and of course I'll show you guys a video on that and keep you guys updated. So hey, I appreciate everything you guys do for me and for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you.